Hello, and welcome to my channel, PC's Trinkets and Treasures, where we get up to all kinds of shenanigans, typically of the jewelry variety, but every once in a while it's something else, and today it's something else, but it's also still bead related, and that is I'm unboxing my two mystery boxes from Beadalon. It's the first time I've ever purchased them. I saw some that opened it that got a bunch of chain. Very jealous. Other people got a lot of wire, whatever. What I can tell you is they're $25 a piece, and they 3 items that were in both of my mystery boxes alone come out to just over $20. Once you pay shipping and whatever else, it would likely be $25. So just those 3 options pay for the box, and then the rest of the stuff is just extras, which is great. I'm going to show you the stuff that was in both boxes first, and then I will go through the stuff that was different. So let's go down to the mat, and the first 3 things I was talking about were 7-strand Beadalon stringing wire in. This one is satin gold, and this is satin silver. Got that in both boxes. Then I also got a set of nylon jaw pliers in both boxes. So these things alone just about pay for the box by themselves. Now, I have another box. Oh, wrong box, Heather. I just stuck it in the box of the different things. Okay, so the rest of the stuff that was in both, and when I say the rest, you guys, yeah. So the next thing that was in both of my boxes were 21 gauge 5mm flat craft wire. I got it in bare copper and gold color, which I found funny that they decided to differentiate. But this is silver plated, whereas the bare copper obviously is not. So that always confuses me. What do they do? Do they just change the color of silver? It always intrigues me how something that's gold can be silver plated. I don't know. If it was like silver and then plated, I get those, but this one, don't understand. Anyways, these are fun to do some simple bracelets. We'll definitely be using these. I also like to knot onto this, something I've not done yet. So I've not knotted on this. If you know, you know. Okay. Then the other thing that was in both boxes, I had some cotton tassel cord. So I got black with gold and red with gold, right? So metallic gold on red, metallic gold on black. So I got one of each of these in both boxes. So I see some tassels in my near future. That could be fun. I'm going to tell you the truth. This reads pink to me. It reads like a bright pink. I don't know if it's because of the gold, but it like reads. I'm going to open it and show you guys. You will see why this reads pink to me. It is pink. Okay, I'm not crazy. That's pink. Mr. Colorblind Steve, is that pink or red?
That's red.
No, it's not.
It's the same color as your shirt, babe.
My shirt is not. My shirt is burgundy. It is not that color. It's pink.
Okay, sorry.
It's bright pink. Anyways. All right, good night. I love you.
I love you too.
Night,
ladies.
Then the next thing that was in both of mine were these 20 gauge, 3 yards of 20 gauge twisted wire in natural, so copper. Got that in both of them. Also got a 100-yard spool of 32 gauge copper wire. I don't know how I'm going to use 200 yards of this, but I will do my best. You know I will. Then we also had this in both of the wires. And there's a set of three of these. So I got a total of six. And they are silver. It's a silver color. It doesn't even mesh tube. So I've used this before. I have some ideas for this. I have some interesting ideas for this and one of the other items. So I got a total of six of those. And up next is the other item that I'm talking about. And that is this square rubber tubing. Rubber tubing. You get 1 meter of it, 3.28. In case you ever need like a quick go-to, a meter is 10% more than a yard. So this says 2.8, but if you round up, it's 3.3 feet. From crocheting for the majority of my life, every skein, the difference between the yards and the meters is almost always 10%. So it's like if it's 500 yards, there's 50 more, or it's 50 more meters. No. Yes. I hope I'm not confusing everybody. Well, other than myself, that is. All right, up next. I got a set or 3 boxes, and each box has 2 of them in it. And that is the slide class. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think I've ever used these. So this is going to be a learning experience because I have 6 of these with 2 in it. So I have 12 of them. And there's no way I'm going to let 12 of anything go unused. Like, that's craziness. So I'm going to learn how to use that. Okay. Next, another interesting item. And that was, I got some chainmail rings. I got 18 gauge in silver, and each little packet contains 3 packages. So I have 6 little packets, and it says, if I can get it out, it doesn't want, dude, myself and everybody else, we need to rebel against these. Get rid of those annoying bags. Okay, so I got 18 gauge in silver. It is 1 millimeter wide. They are not closed, so if I wanted to use them, I would definitely have to go and change them. It also says that they're permanently colored, which I don't understand how they do that, but that's what these are very good for. If you're not sure what something is or how to use it, there's a QR code on the back of their packaging. You go and open your camera mode. I will show you just in case you are not technological savvy, something like that. I don't know what to say. Okay. You're gonna open your camera setting like this. You're going to point it towards the QR code. This little thing is going to pop up. It says Beadalon.com. Click it. Oh, it says the page cannot be found. I thought that it showed you what they were. Okay. I'm going to have to look them up then. I don't understand what that happened. But they also provide you with 8 different patterns that you can do using these. So there's 210, 420 in the 18 gauge with the silver. The reason I don't get why it says permanently colored, because if you look in the center, it's obvious that it's copper wire. So I don't know how they managed to keep the color on. And then I got 20 gauge, and again, horrible packages and bags. that nobody likes. And they are 0.81, so they're 20 gauge. And there's 110 pieces in these. Again, this also says permanently colored wire. Without opening the package, I can't be for sure, but it also looks to be of a copper core. So, like everything else, these will definitely get used. It seems like a lot of stuff in the boxes are no longer carried, which makes me very sad. And I will get to that as soon as we get to the stuff that's different. So, the next thing is some 16 gauge, 1.3 millimeter, and that you get 3 meters of it. Is this 16 gauge? They're calling it pearl silver wire. It just looks pearl to me. I don't know. So I got this in both boxes. Then I got these silver tags, one in each of them, and these can be used to, if you want to have this be your closure, like where your lobster clasps into. But you can also use this as a veil bead if you put it in between two beads. The little loop will hang down and you can add a charm to it or whatever else. Or at least that's what I've used these for in the past. So there was one of those in both boxes. And then there was this interesting product right here. See, look, Zippy's so much easier, so much more pleasant. Okay, so these are large wire crimp connectors. They are in the color antique copper. You are supposed to put like 2 things through it and then crimp it down. And I would say that you could probably, I wonder if they could use these on leather. Ooh, that might be our little design on the fly moment as soon as we're done here. Ooh, that could be interesting. Okay, we're gonna have to check this out because that could be really cool if that is actually a thing. Okay, we've got that. Now on to the stuff that was different. And some of it is minor and some of it's quite a bit different. Oh, wrong box, Heather. That's the one with everything that's the same. Okay. Speaking of those little prints, I got some like kits where the wire and the crimps are the same color. Now, both of them had blue in it, but I saved this until this point so I could show you the other colors. I got this blue. They call it turquoise. I do not call this turquoise at all. This is like dusty denim blue. It's, I don't know. So you get 3 feet, 0.91 meters. See, 3 feet is the yard, 0.91, 10% difference. Anyways, these are 14 gauge, 1.6 millimeter. So this will be interesting to play around with. Then one of the boxes, I got this burgundy color, and the other box I got this olive color, is what they're calling it. So I'm interested to get to play around with these. That'll be fun. Next up, I got 2 I got and I'm still not 100% sure if I misplaced something because if I remember correctly, when I was going through this, I had one of these in both boxes, but I haven't been able to find it because things got away from me and I was excited about it and I wasn't paying attention. So on these, I'm not 100% sure if they did come in both boxes and I misplaced it, or if one was in one and the other's in the other. And I say this because this one is 20 gauge and this one is 28 gauge. And I would honestly swear that there was one of these in both of them and I misplaced it. But I'm Like I said, I'm not 100% certain of that. This is the item that I'm sad I cannot find on their website anymore. This is bare phosphor bronze wire. I have wanted to have this. It's an expensive item to have. So the 15 yards of this will be very nice. It's kind of a champagne like gold, but as it tarnishes, it turns darker brown. Um, and to have the 28 gauge and the 20 gauge gets me excited because I want to do more wire wrapping in my life. So I really am hoping they have both. If not, I will probably reach out and see if they have any in like a clearance bin or something that I could snag. But I'll let you know if I find it. If not, that's the difference. Then one of my boxes had a smaller 6-yard spool of the 20 gauge bare phosphorus. And the other one had this 22 gauge brown, green, and gold. I'm going to tell you again, that's not brown, it's red. This is Christmas wire all over again. So this will be fun to use. I think that, yeah, some kind of Christmas item with this wire would be cool. Then one of my boxes had these huge jump rings. Like, see, they're like an oval shape, but they're like probably an eighth of an inch wide. So they are silver plated. They're 7 by 9.5 millimeters, and there's 15 of them. So, you know what? Now that I know you can do that, oh, this doesn't have a QR code. Darn it. Okay. This one does, however. Let me see if they still have it or not. Camera. And they do not. Okay. So that was a cool item. Then one of my boxes had this braided wire. And it's beautiful. It is the bare cop or the bare bronze, which I'm very happy about because I will likely do some bangles with this. Also, it's square. So it's braided, but it's a square shape, which is so cool to me. And look at that glittery web. Do you see why I'm sad they don't have this anymore? It's so beautiful. But I know it's expensive, and if it's not being purchased, I understand why they would discontinue it, but I never knew that Beadalon had it. Otherwise I would have ordered more. So all of that to say, I would happily buy more of these, and I would probably buy more than 2 and just get them on separate days. So like one day I would get 2, and then the next day I would get 2 unless they're running out quickly. And then I'd order some in the beginning and order some at the end and hope I don't get all matchy. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be fun. I do want to test this, my query out about those little print things to see if they will in fact crimp onto leather. And I just happen to have a piece of leather right here. So I'm going to cut a little piece because if it doesn't work, obviously I don't want it to get all messed up. I don't want to like pull a whole bunch off. This is just a test. Oh, sorry. I also got a ton of these. I got 3 in one box and 4 in the other. And what they are scrimps, which is fine. So one end has, this might be the one that I dumped a bunch out of, but one end has these like itty bitty screws like stored within it. And then the other side is the screwdriver, but you don't get the other part of the scrimps. So I don't even know if those are still available. I'm gonna have to check that out. Actually, let me look right now. We're gonna scrub. Oh, yes, they do still have them. So they have oval ones and silver plated. 10 pieces is $11. There's bullet, cable, oval for memory wire, round. So these scrimps are pretty spendy. They're over $1 a piece. They come in gold and silver plated. So the silver plated don't, ooh, it's 144. 144 of them is almost $170. That's craziness. Well, so I want to see like what all it comes with. Oh, so those must be like if you have a like you lose one or whatever else. That's what that might have been, or just the screw to do it. As I don't know if they will give you the little if they give you the little scrimps or you just get the round part that you have to scrimp into. So that's interesting. I'm gonna have to check those out. I've never used them before. But while we're here, this leather might actually be too big to fit in this, and it is. Well, boo. Now I just cut something I didn't need to cut, but here we go. This is smaller, so let's see here. Maybe if I cut it at a really sharp angle, I can get it on. Do the same thing on the other end. Again, I am totally not sponsored. These Fisker snips, by far my favorite tool. I can cut leather, wire, beading, stringing wire, everything. And they're as sharp as when I got them like 5 years ago. I love these. They are also really easy to do because even though they have the spring, it doesn't have such kickback that it like hurts my hand to use. So I love these. Let's try that. Now that I've cut that at, yes, see, I cut it at a very, very sharp angle. Come on. Oh, did I put that one in too far? Not leave any room for the other one? It would appear to be the case. Or this script is just a little dirty inside. See, you can do that with them too. I bet there are people everywhere going, why are you using your Fiskars like that? Oh my goodness, this one side just doesn't want to go in. It's like, nope. Come on. You need to stay. Let's try that again. Okay. Okay. So it's gonna be a little bit of a dance, I think, to keep them in there, but when I look these up, you can like crimp them. I like that. What I can say that these, I'm sorry, I certainly hope I was not off frame that whole time. What these remind me of, to be perfectly honest, and I'm sure this is going to be, it looks like a hair tie. It looks like a hair tie with the dreaded middle piece. That's what this reminds me of. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure my screen's not jumping. It is. Okay. So Let me get things situated. I will be right back and we will design on the fly like nobody's business. One moment. Okay. I figured there's no time like the present than to work, do some macrame on some of the 5 millimeter wire. I'm hoping I can I don't think that's gonna work. I think I'm gonna have to cut the first clippy. Hopefully I can keep the other one intact so that it will hold it together and this not just unravel on me. Woo. Okay. So nope. Well, maybe I might have gotten in there. No, it's gonna scratch it if I do. No. Not that people are. Ooh, yeah, no, that scratched it. Ah. I'm gonna find something to use this for because there's just this part right here that got messed up. So if you have this, you definitely want to cut off both of the plastic ties because they're holding them very tight. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the sharp end, throw it in my garbage can so that I don't hurt myself with it. All right. And then the first thing you want to do is turn the end so you don't have a sharp bit. I didn't get it quite flush. There we go. And when I say quite flush, I didn't get it straight. It's still not perfectly straight. That's going to drive me nuts. Ooh. There we go. That's better. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and curl with the first step on the plier, and I'm gonna curl in. We will see if that ends up being the way we should have in a bit. Then I'm going to measure this out. Still have to use my hubby's thing because I haven't ordered more rulers, which I need to, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and measure out 8.5 inches. I was going to say, but I don't want to cut off the end. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the end and make this side flush. And then cut the sharp bit off the other end. I don't know if my double flush cutters would cut this. So that's why well, there's no time like the present, right? It does not. But I think that I doled my double flush cutter accidentally, using it on something I shouldn't have, like non-bead and wire related. So there we are. I am going to go ahead and curl this under, and then if it happens to be too long, I can always cut some off. And then my idea was to use some of my flat back pearls, and those are exactly what they sound like. One side is rounded, the other side is pretty flat, but they're not button quality. So they're sold as flatbacks, or should be sold as flatback. I'm sorry if I'm drinking a lot during this part of the video. It's nighttime, so I have already taken my nighttime meds and my mouth tends to get dry. So, in case you're wondering, that's why. So, I have some pretty chestnut brown, so pretty chestnut brown. And I think the brown and the gold will be beautiful. So, I'm going to cut off a wingspan and then another Mm, 18 inches, maybe 10. I don't know, something. Just extra. That's all we have to know. It's just extra. Okay. Now, oh, you know what? I might not be able to do that because I'm not quite sure how I would secure these on with the cording because the holes aren't going to be big enough for me to strand. So, what if I did a cord, like I cut off the rolled ends and I cut off a piece of the cording that has all of the pearls on it, or I could do so with wire as well. Like take wire, put a loop here so that it goes through the turned end, and that's what holds the pearls in place, and I just knot around them. I think that may be what we have to do. So let me grab some regular 20 gauge wire. It'd have to be a pretty big loop for it to fit all the way through. So I want to cut off probably way more than I need. Just so that because this is completely on the fly. So I don't know how much I'm going to need. And if this first loop isn't big enough, which I use the third step, it's certainly not round enough for me. That's better. You know what? I think I'm going to roll it twice, all the way around. Oh, that was a mistake, because how do I work hard in that? Design on the fly, guys. Hey, at least we know. I will make jump rings. You know I'm going to make jump rings right now, right? It's me, after all. And I don't like to waste anything. Okay. So I'm going to go right there, make a jump ring. And then the last one. This is literally the way my brain works. This is how my mind processes things. This is what designing with me looks like. Okay, I think I have enough. So what I think I'm going to do is to get it centered so that the loop is centered, I'm going to have to do the little kick out. So I'm gonna, and when I say the little kick out, I'll show you what I mean in just a second. I mean, like I'm going to use the other part of the pliers and I'm going to do the little kick like that so that it's more centered. I'm also going to cut off the excess wire that was more squared than round, which I purposely rolled past. There we go. Then I'm going to use the box joint in my pliers to work hard in this. Squish, 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 squish. Turn it over like so, and squish, squish. There we go. Okie dokie. So, make sure again, I want to make my loop more centered. That's not quite centered. But I overcorrected a little bit. Okay, so then I theoretically Oh, wait, that might. I hope if nothing else, you've realized that when I say design on the fly, I truly mean it. The only thing is, I don't know of any other way to open this but to open it a little bit. That's the only thing with this. Is that opened enough? No, it didn't open at all. Oh, that's because it's already pretty work hardened, which is good news for me, I would say. Okay, now we need to close this back up, and otherwise that's going to happen. Let's go ahead and close that back up, but I'm gonna have to use those because my pliers will not fit in with the loop without ruining it. Okay, so now we have this part. I may have to do a wrap loop up here, you guys, because my thought process is that I would put this along the wire and the brown cording would cover it up for the most part. Or do I wire wrap the pearls to the metal, like kind of spiral it and then go over it in cording? Like do 2 or 3 knots in between each one? I'm not sure. First things first, let's open the strand and find out which is easier. So if I load one, and I am going to go for the flattest ones to make it easier on myself. So then it would sit just flat like that. And then I would macrame over the top of it. I think it would be better if this was a wrapped loop. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Keep it flush. Okay. Then I might even see if I can get thicker wire through the pearls. Let's see. I believe this is my 20 gauge. It is indeed. Okay. So I'm going to cut off a little bit more because if I'm going to do a wrapped loop, obviously I'm going to want. Let me make sure I can even put. Why did I not check this ahead of time? That one almost fits. We know that I had my handy dandy reamer. But let's see if this is going to be a problem with all of them, because if so, they'll mostly go on, but they're getting stubs, which will bend up the wire and make it impossible. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to ream some of these pearls out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I just want to show you guys this because I'm kind of blown away. As you can see, everything is covered in pearl dust, which, you know, is our fairy dust, right? Sparkly, floaty, pretty. There's so much on my thing because, you guys, this tool is awesome. I just plugged it in after I already have 10 pearls fully drilled and another 5 with the first step started. And I could tell I wasn't getting full juice, and I could tell that because the pearl wasn't getting hot when it didn't go through anymore, but I have to show this to you guys. Okay, come on. Don't be difficult. Thank you. Okay, so literally, this is like the ittiest bittiest tool. And I am going to say that I buy a set of 4 of these off of Temu, and they're 4 different sizes. Like the way they taper varies. This one tapers very slowly. This is the next size, that's the next size. And then the side I was originally using is the largest size, and I don't know where. But I also have this itty bitty little drill bit. So what I'm doing is I'm using the smallest one to start, and then I'm going to use that one to finish. And I think by the time I'm done, we may be able to do my original design, which was macrameing the pearls in place using macrame cord, and then I wouldn't need the wire. The wire would still look really cool. I'm not gonna, or yes, if there was a wire down the middle with pearls on them that had knots over and around them, that would look really cool. And I'm not saying that's not what we're gonna do, but I'm not saying that it's not what we're going to do. We may go back to using the cord, because I just think that that would be really cool if we could just knot them on like that, just coming down the bracelet. So let me show you really quick. I'm starting with the small one, obviously. I place my drill in the pearl. I push it as far as it can go, and then I back it up just so that I'm not already there when I turn the drill on. And then I just turn the drill on, and I do a little wiggle like that first, just to make sure that the opening is wide enough for the other drill. Then I'm going to flip it over to the other side. I turned off the drill. I'm going to put it back in, and I'm going to start the drill again. And when I can't see much of the end of the sparkly, and or it starts to get hot, that's where I'm going to start. That's where I'm going to stop. Let me do one more with you. This is a nice pretty one. And these pearls don't have itty bitty teeny holes, and they're drilling very well. But this Hardell rotary tool is the best. I have dexterity issues. I also have nerve issues. So I've had to return some of these simply because I couldn't handle the vibration that the tool gave off. Make sure this is a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna do probably one more, and then we'll go to the second step. My hands are very covered in dust and grime because I just found some 18 gauge sterling silver wire when I was looking for something else. I can't remember now. Oh my goodness. Oh, and it was really tarnished. So of course I probably have ADD, because of course I had to pull out my polishing cloth, and it did take the tarnish off. So there we go. All right. In, pushed all the way, then backed out just a little bit. Start, do a little wiggle. So there's plenty of room for the drill to start through. As you can see, it's coming out the other end, but there's a bunch of pearl dust in the way. So I'm just going to go back the other way, rotate it around a little bit, and pull it out. Okay. So I already have 9 over there. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 17. I think it's good. So I'm going to push down my knob and twist until it clicks. And then I can untwist this attachment, pull it out, pop in the other attachment, close it as tight as you can, and then just rotate till it clips again. So then you have your itty bitty drill on the end. And again, I do the same thing. I stick it in the drill ahead of time so that I don't scratch up the sides of the pearls. And then I just clip this. And if it doesn't go through, which it did right there, as you could see, then I just go from one side to the other. But it's not necessary if it drills that well, right? Can you believe how easily these are drilling without water? Because normally I would drill pearls underneath a faucet of some kind. There we go. It also turns on and off very easy. So like it's very light to the touch in order to do so. So don't feel like you have to. Ooh, didn't have a hold of that one. There we go. See, this one is like stuck about halfway through. So you want to pull it out while it's still on. It makes it easier and you don't like strip out the inside of your pearls. Not that you think that matters, but it does. Oops. Or you do stuff like that. There you go. You're almost there. It's starting to get hot. Okay, flip it back the other way. Put it into the pearl. Start it. If it gets away from you, just turn it off. Start again. There we go. I can't believe how easy this is. This whole thing has been. So this is a really good product. Is all I was saying. I don't have affiliate links. I should probably figure out how to set that up. But I will leave a link to this in the description box below. It's on Amazon right now for 21 something, 21.99, 21.49, something like that. If you get less attachments, and it's 25 something if you get all of the attachments. Okay, where did I put my water bottle? This morning. There it is. Okay. Sorry, I needed a drink. Desperately needed a drink. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. There's only 4 left. I'm going to go ahead and drill the last 4, and then I'm going to try to clean up some of the dust mess here and figure out if I can, in fact, get 2 strands through these pearls, which would be amazing. So I'll be back. Okay, all done. Tested it out. I melted and pearled out my ends, but I will show you that process in case you've never done it before. There's jewelry fairy dust all over my desk. Because much better than the dust storm that we had last night. That was crazy. And then led into like a downpour. Alrighty, to melt and furl your ends is simply means that I took a raw edge or unmelted edge. I put it under the lighter and then I like pulled it out with my fingers. You want to have the end furl out long enough that it should be able to go all the way through a pearl. So you got to do it really quickly in order to get that. I didn't get it that time. I'm hoping. See how this one's longer? Probably not because it's really thin. But I'm going to cut it off because it got bent. And once they get bent, they don't like to go. They're really light. And so the extra I mentioned was because I need to be able to furl both the ends out in order to get them through the pearl. So now all we need to do is make a square knot to put it on the bar. But before we get there, something I like to do to make it easier. Where did my dowel go? Where did it go? Aw. Hold on. Just a second. I'm looking for another dowel to use for this purpose. Oh, come on. Are you serious right now? The only ones I have are like ridiculously long and will definitely not fit under the camera. But I'm hoping my heavy duty cutters, not the one that I was bragging about a few minutes ago, but like my jewelry cutters that are like really good. I just need a piece long enough to do a demonstration. I wonder if my memory wire cutters would cut it and not leave me with like a whole bunch of bamboo. This is a bamboo dowel, so it splinters really easily. The memory wires did in fact cut it. Ouch. That was my knee. I am, however, real quick, and I'm sorry, I am a good tool owner, so I took my bit off of my rotary, so now I have to find the bit container that I literally just had. Sorry. I'm going to take one of the thicker, heavier duty ones to kind of, well, or just this will work, hopefully. No, this is not from a nail tech set. Does it look like it? Absolutely. There we go. Okay. This thing splinters like you wouldn't believe. So I'm just going to very carefully file down any little sticky outy bits. So, because the only thing worse than like the little strings of wire, like soft flex or whatever else, is a bamboo splinter. It's nothing to joke about. They hurt. They're very thin. They're very light in color, and so am I. So they're not easy to see, but I'll take that tool and put it away later. Okay, the whole purpose of this is I'm going to take a larger piece of cording so that I can show you how to do a square knot, because I do better holding it in my hand. So I'm going to show you on here so it's easier to see, first of all. So you're going to have the two cords, and you're going to put one cord over the dowel itself. You're going to take the opposite cord, you're going to put it over that one, underneath the dowel, and back up to the other side of the loop. And that is the first half of your square knot. Then you're going to simply go the other way. You're going to put that out. You're going to put it over this side, under, up through, and pull it tight. And that is a full square knot. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you a couple more times, just so if you've ever had trouble with square knots, hopefully this will help, because I'm not showing it to you on like Ceylon or whatever. And in fact, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit better to make sure that you can see. So we're going to take the cord on this side. We're going to cross it over the center cord, dowel, whichever. You're going to put the right cord over the left cord. Then you're going to take it under the center, up through the loop on the other side, and pull it tight. To do the other half, you're going to do the opposite of that. You're going to put the right cord over the dowel, take the left cord over the right cord, under the dowel, and up through the loop that the right cord made. and you're going to pull it tight. Now, since a square knot, oh, was I out of frame the whole time? Probably. I'm going to show you again. Don't worry. If ever you're doing a square knot and you like walk away and come back and aren't sure how to do, like how to tell which way you go, you will see these little bumps on the side of the stitches. So right now it's on the left side. So that's telling me that I need to knot with, like that needs to be the next one I use. I'll show you. So we're going to put it over the center. We're going to take the right cord, put it over the left cord, underneath the dowel, and up through the loop that the left cord created. Then you're going to pull it tight. And then you'll see that the bump is on this side, and that's the next side we have to go. And we're going to go up, under, and through. Easy peasy. You will get to doing it to where you can knot so quickly that it has almost become difficult for me to teach because I do go so fast. I just, I don't do all the like pretty little steps. I just go through it and work on it. Now, if all of a sudden you notice that that it seems like your knots are twisting, it's because you're doing the same half of the square knot over and over, forgetting to do the other half. And I'll show you what I mean. So the bump is on this side, but I'm going to knot with the opposite side. So that's going to be, and then that's all I'm going to continue doing. I'm going to continue doing it on that other side. And I'm just going to keep going, only doing half the knot. And this is on a dowel, so it's not going to be as apparent on this, but you can see it's twisting. And it will continue to twist if I continue to do that. So if you notice on the side that your bumps are smaller than this, than like say these ones, then you know you're skipping part of the process. But just so you know, this is another form of that knot that people use in macrame. You just do the same thing over and over, and it spirals down, and it's just a spiral half square knot. Spiral half square knot. Yes, that's what it's called. So now that I've shown you on the large cord, so that it would be easier for all of us. Now I can make sure I keep that dowel right there, so I know where it is. Now I'm going to knot onto my piece of flat metal using my brown cording that I have already done. What the heck is going on? Oh, whoo, I just almost caught a knot where I did not want it. So I'm just going to match up my ends, and I'm going to pull it down to the center. And then when we get to the center, I'm just literally going to hold it underneath. I'm going to go over, just like I just showed you. I'm going to go over. I'm going to go down over that one and up through the loop on the other side. Now, we want to try to keep this as centered as we can. So I'm just going to double check to make sure that somewhere along the way, it didn't go crazy and one side is, see how one side is crazy longer than the other? So I'm going to simply kind of rock it back and forth until it evens out. So we did the first half of the square knot, and the bump is on this side. Not that that's easy to see. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the other half of the square knot. I'm not gonna lie, it still is tempting and probably will be attempted at a later date and time, doing it with the wire, because I think that the center rod down the middle could do something interesting. And yeah, I have to try all the options. That's just who I am. So I'm gonna do probably an inch or so of knots, because I would like to try to get as much of this knotted around as possible, though I am a little fearful that I didn't cut enough and that I should have cut 2 wingspans, not 1 and a little bit extra. So let me zoom out a little bit more so I don't look like I'm out of frame the whole time. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep knotting until I get down. But yeah, you guys, that rotary tool, honestly, I have wait, what just happened? Oh no, it's fine. I have degenerative nerve disease, and my Derkums and fibromyalgia also causes nerve pain. So my husband has a big old fancy one that he has that his work, he was his Christmas gift from work one year. And I can't use it. It has all these crazy cool add-ons and whatever else. I can't use it. I just can't. It might also be interesting to see what this would look like with the twisting knot. So if any of you agree and attempt it, please post a picture in Beading Besties and tag me. I'd really like to see it. I really, 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 really would. Go ahead and pull this down. Speaking of Beading Besties, you guys, the link to the Facebook group is in the description box of all of my videos, as well as my email and anything else. So if I do something or showcase something and you have more questions, please feel free to call me. Okay, guys, we are down. I pulled these out so they weren't in my way. And I also thought about possibly putting like the gold seed beads on the side. Yes, I know. ADD. My daughter pointed out that I do that a lot. And I was like, you might be onto something, sis. Okay, let's hope this one doesn't have any residual dust that needs to be. Get ready for your thread to be white. As the pearl dust comes off or your strand goes through. Come on, you're right there. I can almost get you. This is why you want your furls to be as long as possible, because of that right there. So I will cut and attempt again, because you need enough to be able to grab it. But you need the thin part to go all the way through. So let's see if this is small enough, but not so thin that I can't grab onto it. Ah, there we go. See? Okay, now we're going to pull this down. I do a little bit on each side at a time. I don't try to pull. Oh, oops. Nope, don't do that. Oh, this is that Wizard of Oz moment where it's like, Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay. There we go. Again, as I was saying, it's better to pull one side at a time. Otherwise, that happens, which we don't want. So then we're going to put our flat back pearl in place. Like, ooh. No, that's the way. And then we're just going to start doing square knots again. So we'll just go back to stringing. And I'm not quite sure exactly how many I want, but look at how pretty that looks with the chestnut brown and the gold. It's so pretty. Yes, I did the whole square knot. I had to make sure the first one kind of tucks up under the pearl a bit because obviously the pearl has surface area that is greater than what one succession of knots would do. So that's 2. You can barely see the first. So the rest of this is going to totally depend on personal preference. How many pearls do you want? How many knots do you want? All of that is going to be personal preference. I'm going to go ahead and put another one on now because I like a lot of pearls. Okay, this is way too thin. There's no way in heck that's going to work. Hopefully that's better. Is the other end? Let's see here. If you just barely get both of them in at the same time, it becomes easier to grab them through easier. The other one is not quite as... Yeah, I don't think that's furled enough. Nope, sure isn't. And the reason that I cut it off is because otherwise I have hard cording that won't melt as much as fresh cording does. Come on. This is not like me tonight. I don't know if that furl's going to make it, but we can try. Okay, now I have tiny furls on both sides. Nope. Okay, guys. This is going so much worse because I'm on camera and because there's a fan right there. So I'm going to go up to the side for a second and try to get a better furl because it's thicker. Okay, there's that one. Let's do the other side off camera. And of course it will go well. See, if that's not proof that just being under the camera causes shenanigans, beading shenanigans, it really does. I know you guys here as content creators say that all the time, but it most certainly does. It took me less time to make 4 more bracelets than it did to the 2 I did during my live this morning. And there was like wire wrapping and everything else involved. Okay. Oh, that's what I was doing. Now we're going to pull this one. I was holding the cord from the other side. So I was like, okay, get you down here in position. I need to pull this cord through quite a bit. I still want some of the knotting to peek through like that. So that, again, personal preference. You don't want it to show. You could use the like goldish cording and go around. I'm also wondering how cool it would look if I wasn't like set on the knots, then going around it with wire, like taking that long piece of cording that I did and just looping it between the pearls. Another option for you guys. I know I don't know if you guys appreciate that or if it annoys you that as I'm doing one design, I'm talking about 5 others. Does it make it hard to follow along? If it does, please tell me so I can stop. And also know this about me. Any advice, recommendations, whatever from me come with 0 expectations. If I give you advice, I figure you're going to do one of 3 things. You're going to do it like I suggest. You're going to tweak my suggestion to better fit your life, or it's going to go in one ear and out the other. I don't mind which of those 3 it is. So just let me know. And I know I've had some longer videos with more babbling, and I will try to get better about that. I most certainly did not intend for this to be this long of a video, but then I get going. Oops, I gotta do the curl. I get going and then I just go off on this tangent or that tangent. So that's why I'm like, I know that there are definitely those of you who like, dang it, who like the tips that I give during videos and stuff. I know that. I know that there are people who don't. They've said as much, that they don't like my long videos. I don't know how to do timestamps. Otherwise, I would say here, go to here to get to the end of it if you'd like to. But I'm going to go ahead and finish knotting this up, and I will come back when I have all of my pearls knotted so that we aren't here all night. Be right back. And I'm back. And here's my little pearl bangle, knotted pearl bangle. I'm at the end, so I want to show you all the odds and ends. I can also tell you that you can have these as close together or as far apart as you want. As far as deviations from like the basic pattern I've demonstrated today, like I said, you could put a 15-0 on either side before you went through the pearl, and then they would sit up against the holes and you wouldn't see them. They wouldn't be as glaring on the sides, which I say glaring, but they're not. They're just there. But you can adjust this by pushing them together or pulling them apart. I will also tell you another little tip that I do. And that is, I do an extra knot on the side I'm cutting. And the reason being is if I go to melt it and it doesn't work the first time and the square knot comes undone, I want a little added security, and it's not very noticeable to anybody that doesn't make jewelry. So I also only ever cut one side at a time. I know some people are brave and do them both, but that's not my way of doing it. Right inside, then we're going to cut the other side. I was also thinking that, and obviously when you put this around your wrist, you can mold it properly. If I had my bracelet thing handy, like my bracelet crimper thingy, this would look much better. But once it's on your wrist, you can shape it directly to your wrist. And like I said, you could spread these out, you could push them all together. It's all just a matter of personal preference. So I like them just a tad spread out. I think it's really pretty. So there we go. Oh, the other way you could do this. You could just do this part as a bracelet bar and then attach chain on either ends of this with a clasp. That is another alternative to this design. But I hope you like my design on the fly, the first one. I've used stuff out of my mystery box. Hopefully this inspires you. Coin beads would also look very good right here. There are plenty of ways you can alternate this to your taste. But I hope that you guys all enjoyed this. If you would not mind hitting the like button, leaving me a comment, sharing it on your own social media with other people who have the same interests as we do, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will do some more with these products. And until then, I will see you next time. As always, happy beading.